Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, Alana Narciss. Today's video, I'm going to be discussing being bad, bougie, and broke. And I bet you're wondering, like, what do you mean, girl, bad, bougie, and broke? I'm bad because I can dress very well. I'm bougie because I have very expensive taste. And then I'm broke because I really can't afford that taste that I have. I'm going to be sharing with you all some of my tips on how I dress affordably, travel, and just overall my lifestyle. Many of you know that I just love fashion. Like, I love shopping and buying things. I love shoes. Like, today is a great day of how much I love fashion. I literally just had a shipment come in from Boujee. Like, I bought some shirts, some swimwear, and just a bunch of stuff on a budget. Everything that I bought was less than $150 total. So, and this isn't even all, I also bought some really cute shoes to go with this stuff. But like I said, all of these things were under $150. So you guys should be very proud of me. And hey, it's okay to treat yourself occasionally. It is okay to treat yourself. I love buying things that are on sale, the discounts and all of that. The dress that I'm currently wearing, which is also in my thumbnail, was $18 from New York & Company. I know y'all like $18, girl? Yes, and it's great quality. This dress was like originally $78. I'm balling on a broke girl budget, so anytime I see something that's cute and affordable, more than likely I'm probably gonna buy it. If it's one thing that I would suggest is that if you like to shop in bulks and you like to buy a lot of stuff, I would suggest shopping online because there's always sales. Some of my favorite affordable places that I like to shop is Zara, Forever 21, and then far as online sites, I love Pretty Little Thing, Boohoo, Misguided. All of those three places that I just named at the end, they are typically always having at least 30% off or 50% off on their website, and so they're really great places to shop. With shopping online, I do say that some things do appear different online and then when you get them. So what I like to do is continue to shop at stores that I previously have bought things from. I don't really like trying new sites, so I would suggest stick to the stores that you typically would go to in person. If you're trying out a new site that's online, I would always suggest going a size up instead of getting your original size, because stores like Boohoo, Pretty Little Thing, and Misguided, I always go up a size because they are European-based companies. I would take that in consideration, but I highly suggest that if you're not already an online shopper, to become an online shopper. I know that with online shopping, after you spend a certain amount of money, they will give you free shipping. I know Forever 21, it has been $50, and for me that's not bad because when I do shop, I shop in bulks. So I'm not just doing online shopping, buying one or two things. I'm typically usually buying a few items because I want them to last, and you just never know when you might have an event come up or something. And then another suggestion for clothes, if you've never been thrifting, I would highly recommend it. I went to the thrift store here in Houston while I was on lunch break one day, and I literally found a red suit for $5. It was a nice quality suit. You guys are like, oh my god, teach me your ways. You bought that from thrifting? And I'm like, yes, it was $5. Since last month, I've been back to the thrift store at least 3 times, and I've bought some great things. I bought some high-waisted jeans and just all types of things from the thrift store. And you know, there's nothing wrong with thrifting. Only thing I would say is sometimes you will have to get things alterated. For me, with my red suit, I did have to get the pants cut off because I'm very petite. I'm 4'11", so I have to get everything alterated. With thrifting, you might have to spend a couple extra dollars to make sure your clothes are nicely tailored for your body. Overall, I enjoyed it. You guys will see in the little clip that I was shook. I was like, oh my god, why didn't someone tell me about thrifting before? Because I was just amazed by that little suit. I was like, $5 for it. But that is another suggestion. If you haven't thought about it, go thrifting.
Why didn't somebody tell me about thrifting before? I just spent $9 and got 3 outfits.
I love looking good, but I want to look good for less. I'm not really label happy where I just have to have designer. You know, I might decide one day after saving my money for a while I might want to buy something. So I'm not knocking it. If that's your style that you like to buy high-end luxury clothes, go for it. But I do want to give you guys options of stores where you can buy affordable things and you can look good while wearing a $5, $10, $40 outfit. Like, you can look real good doing it. So now that we've talked about fashion, I want to get into another area where I was spending a lot of money, and that is beauty and cosmetics. Since I moved here to Houston, I've made quite an adjustment on my spending habits. One of those areas is the frequency of getting my hair and my nails done. Before moving to Houston, I would get sew-ins in my hair, and I would keep them in for about 2 to 3 months, and that required me to buy the hair, which typically costs anywhere from $100 to $200, and then a sew-in which normally ran about $100. So just to estimate the price, it probably was anywhere from $300 to $400 in order for me to get my hair done every 2.5 months. And I started thinking, I'm like, ooh, I could be doing something else with my money other than trying to get my hair done and spending $150 each month on getting my nails done. In January, I decided that I wanted to get on this healthy hair journey, so I decided to cut off majority of my hair, and then I started rocking wigs, and it has been great. Like, I've saved so much money, and also not only have I saved money, I've saved time with like getting ready. Like, now I'm able to get ready within 20 to 30 minutes. It just made my beauty process very long and super expensive, and so I'm saving money now by not getting my hair done so much because I invested in a few wigs. And also with my nails, like, I was when I first came to Houston, like, I didn't know what nail shops really to go to. I got referrals, but I went to some of those places and I really didn't like them. And then there was a nail shop down the street from my job, and I started going to it. It wasn't the nicest nail shop, but I liked their work and they were very nice and professional. I love getting my nails done in the 3rd Ward here, which if you ever heard Beyonce's songs, you know that's like the hood here. And I love it because they treat me very well and they do a great job. And then I also, you know, me being on my bougie side, I tried out this new nail shop that's very lavish. Beauty, like I said, is a huge adjustment in my life. And next thing I want to discuss is like living. A lot of people have asked me, you know, is Houston really affordable? Like, how do you like it and all that? So I want to touch on that just for a moment. When I look at Houston being the #4 largest city in the country, I am shocked by how affordable it is. Like, literally, my rent isn't even double of what I paid in Mississippi when I had a 1-bedroom apartment. So for me, that's very satisfying to know that I can afford living here in Houston and pay all my bills on my own without having to get assistance. Although when I first moved here, I did have a lot of help from my family with the move and everything, and it was great to have that luxury of having my family help me and all that. Originally on my job search, I had high hopes of moving to New York or California, but looking back on it, I am so glad that I moved to Houston because the standard 1-bedroom apartment, probably not even for a nice area in New York, is $2,000, and that's like probably having like a box. So for me, I love comfort and I like not having roommates, and I know that if I lived in New York or LA or somewhere like that, I might potentially have to have a roommate because of the cost of living is so expensive. And so for anyone out there who might be a recent graduate or who might be considering making a huge move, I would take those things into consideration when you're thinking about what city you should move to. What city works best with your budget, with your lifestyle, and where you can be comfortable, because I've had previous experiences in college with having good roommates and bad roommates. And ultimately, my last year of college, I just told my dad and my family, I'm like, if I'm coming back to college, I really want to focus and I don't want any roommates. So that was kind of like my last year of college is where I decided like I can't do the roommate thing anymore, and so wherever I am after college, it has to be somewhere where I can afford it on my own and not have to depend on having a roommate. And so I've been blessed with living here in Houston. Like I said, you can get rent at a nice place in a very safe area for at least $1,000. And another great thing that I love about Houston and Texas in general is that we don't have state income taxes. So when you get a check, the only taxes that are taken on your check are federal income tax. So that means you're bringing home a lot more money, which also helps out with the cost of living and any expenses that you have. And so what I can say overall living here in Houston about like affordability, it's amazing. Like living in Houston, a little goes a long way, and I am very appreciative of that. Like you guys just don't know, like now that I've made accommodations in other areas of my life like fashion and beauty, I'm able to pay a lot more for living in a nice area or a nice apartment. Now that you know about how I'm living, let's get into the area that I love the most, and that is traveling. If I could travel at least twice out the month, like that would make me so happy, because I love going to different places. And in the coming year, I have a huge challenge for myself and something I really want to X off my list of things to do before a certain age. And I'll be sharing that with you guys in another video. Through my journey of traveling and all that, I've learned a lot. Like one of the big things that I learned and that I like to do is not buy my ticket too far in advance if I'm flying. So the earliest I've ever personally bought my own flight has been like 6 weeks out, and I remember that was for coming home. The latest I've ever bought a plane ticket was about 2.5 weeks. I just had my mind set on going out of town. I would recommend to anyone that is thinking about traveling domestically here in the US not to buy your flight out too early in advance. Airlines are constantly having sales closer to the date that you're probably going out of town. Like, I just always like to buy it closer to my travel date. Another thing with flying that I discovered is flying basic economy has been my go-to with saving money and also saving time with packing. Basic economy flights are when you get the cheapest flight for an airline and you're not allowed to bring a carry-on. You can only have a personal bag. So that means maybe a small tote bag, a backpack, or a weekend bag. Which for me, that's a weekend bag from Target that I bought for like $40. And I've actually used that bag a few times to save money on having to pay for a carry-on or a check bag for airlines like Delta and United, which don't give you your first check bag aren't free, like where you have to pay for your check bags. Whereas if you fly Southwest, your first 2 check bags are free and you get to have a carry-on. And so living here in Houston, it has been easier for me to fly United or Delta just because of the prices in the areas that I've been traveling to since I moved here. And I just love my little small weekend bag. It's so helpful. But people find it funny, like, girl, that's all you're packing? Like, that's all you pack? My sister, for example, when we went to New York for my 24th birthday, she was like looking at the bag like, that's all you pack for the weekend? That's all you pack? I was like, yeah, girl, I don't need that much stuff. And so it's really made me more efficient with packing and everything and saved me a lot of money. The only downside to flying economy, you're not able to pick out your seat, and you don't have overhead bin, and also you are typically in the last boarding class. So if you don't like not having overhead bin space or being the last person and not knowing what seat you're going to sit in, I would not suggest basic economy for you. In my experience with it, I've always gotten the seat that I want, which is the window seat. Basic economy has been cool with me. With traveling, it's always important to try to get the cheapest but the best quality. And what I started doing is using travel search engines such as Booking, Expedia, and then I use Google Flights far as comparing different airlines like United, Delta, and American Airlines. And the only airline that doesn't allow you to use Google Flights is Southwest. So anytime I fly Southwest, I have to go directly to their website in order to see the prices, which, like I mentioned earlier, Southwest for me has been very expensive coming out of Houston, And so I just kind of avoid flying Southwest, although you get those 2 free checked bags. Thank you guys so very much for watching this video. I want to wrap this up with just giving you guys some advice. What this entire video is meant to do is just to give you a tool of how you can live within your means. I know that social media makes it seem like everyone's out here living their best and most expensive life. That isn't always true. Like for me, I know that I'm just getting into my career and I'm just becoming a young professional, so I don't have that much money to be out here buying Gucci, Louis, Prada, and all these different designers. I don't have it, and you know, eventually maybe one day I will have it, but it's not a necessity for me. I would rather make sure I have food to eat, clothes on my back, and my hair and my nails are done before I spend $1,000 on one handbag or a pair of shoes. And one thing I can say is, like, if you have a desire to buy expensive things, I would suggest, you know, maybe contemplating like, what do I need now? What is something I cannot live without? You cannot live without food, water, having a roof over your head. And if one of those things come before your luxury or you splurging on something, then you might want to reconsider it. I just kind of think about my dad when I think about budgeting and lifestyle choices. I think about my dad a lot because growing up, my dad and I would spend time together on the weekends because he worked throughout the week, and we would usually do whatever I wanted to do, which mainly consisted of going to get ice cream. But during those times, I mean, it started when I was like small, maybe like we would do things, either we would do things as a family or it would just be him and I. Every time we would get in the car, like, and still to this day, he would always ask me, you know, how things are going. Every time I call him on the phone, he's always asking, how's your job going? How's this going? Do you have enough money? Do you have this and that? But he would also stress the importance of saving your money. He's like, I don't care what you do or how good your job is, always keep some money for a rainy day, because you just never know. You can lose your job, times can get hard. And what I can say now, in hindsight, looking back on it, I can say, Dad, you were truly right about, you know, being responsible with my money. And my mom also told me this. And, you know, they're speaking from experience of having to grow up without parents that were able to send them off to college or provide them with assistance after they were the age of 21. I'm 24, so having that support where I was a graduate and having my family's support to be able to make a major move to a large city has been wonderful. But if I didn't have that support, I would have had to have something in my bank account. I would have had to have money saved up. So it's just getting to the place where you can be responsible over your money, where you can know that if something comes up, I'm able to make accommodations to provide for anything that comes up. That I was taught that way, that to save for a rainy day and not to spend all my money at once. And I really just wanted to make this video to just let you guys know that there is a way that you can live your life, buying basic things where you don't have to have designer. And I want to just kind of let you guys know that if you know you have a Wendy's budget, don't try to live like the Carters. Live within your means. Find comfort in living below your means. Go ahead, be my guest and live below. But me, honey, I can't do that. The way my finances are set up, I can't live below my means. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, like my page on Facebook. And if you have any suggestions on videos that I should do in the future, please feel free to send me your suggestions. And I hope that you all will take care of yourselves, take care of your finances. Don't spend all your money, child. Save some money for a rainy day. I love you guys, and thank you so very much for watching.